Tel Aviv. Now, J Magnier is a veteran war correspondent and political risk analyst. He joins us now. Elijah, thanks so much for your time. We've heard from our two correspondents now that there are so many details missing, and yet there's a sense that this time we might actually get a peace deal. What's your sense?
Thank you for having me. First, it is far from being a peace deal. It is a framework agreement between the United States and Iran, excluding Israel, which allow the Israeli to say, well, I'm not in, therefore I need to look after my own national security, and I will judge upon what's going to happen next. However, we know from today onward until Friday, when the signature is due in Geneva, in theory, the Israelis should not open fire in Lebanon against any objective or any target or issue evacuation orders or anything of this kind that was going on in the last 100 days. So we know that this is holding for now, but Israel said it's not going to withdraw. And the framework is saying any point that is not fully agreed and fulfilled, everything will collapse. And because this is a point one, which is the end of the war in Lebanon and the withdrawal of all Israeli forces, then that is going to be a serious challenge for Donald Trump.
Yes, exactly. And Lebanon has been a sticking point for previous rounds and attempts at peace. What could make the difference this time? Would it be political pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu by Donald Trump?
I don't think so, because Donald Trump is dealing with the future of one person. Benjamin Netanyahu has the election of the prime ministership and the Knesset before that, of course. And if he fails these elections, he is going to face 3 corruption charges and will go to jail unless he confesses his guilt. And then there is a possibility of the Israeli president to pardon him. But that will be the end of his career. This is not something that Benjamin Netanyahu is looking ahead to retire. Therefore, he's going to fight. And to fight, he needs to regain the war in one way or another, like he did a couple of days ago when he accused Hezbollah of sending 2 drones. That was a very skeptical information. Therefore, it is going to be challenging for Donald Trump, because Trump wants the end of this war. And what is valid for Israel is not valid for America. For Donald Trump needs peace to run the midterm elections, and Benjamin Netanyahu needs war for his election.
And that is just one of the tricky issues to navigate. We know that in Doha, the Pakistan negotiators are going to be moving back and forth between both parties before that hopeful Friday signing. Enriched uranium, sanctions, those issues also have to be addressed. Do you think they can get it right this time?
Well, you said it all. This is a very excellent point everybody is looking forward to. In fact, this agreement has so many traps: the frozen asset, the nuclear enrichment uranium, the centrifuge, what's going to happen to the 441 kilogram of 60%, and when these are going to be diluted. But there is one big difference here. In the JCPOA in 2015, Iran needed to prove its goodwill and took all the measures before the agreement. Now it is the other way around. The Americans are taking all the steps before the Iranians, and once these are confirmed by the Iranians achieved, then the Iranians are moving on their side, which is going to put us in a very serious problem if Donald Trump is going to say, I am not giving back Iran its frozen asset, I am not lifting all sanctions, and I am allowing the Iranian to sell their oil and make a lot of money. And then there are the 300 billions that Iran claimed for the reparation of the war, that the Gulf countries said they will pay part of it. So all that, there are so many traps ahead. This is why I said from start, this is a framework agreement, far from being a peace deal.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for speaking to us, J Magnier, veteran war correspondent and political risk analyst.